Hello students, welcome back to Edviz Learning. As you know, we are on chapter number 5, Co-ordinate geometry, and last time in this chapter what we had done is the introduction part, wherein I told you that some of the parts of this chapter we have already studied in the previous year. 9th standard में हम लोगों ने कुछ part study already किया था यार, ठीक है? The new thing that we learned in the previous lecture is something called as the distance formula. That is the only thing, the only concept that we have learned so far in this chapter. And the formula we derived it in the last session. The formula is like this: distance between any two points A and B can be given by square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Okay, wherein x2, x1, y2, y1 ये सब क्या है? इन दोनों पॉइंट्स के कोऑर्डिनेट्स है. पॉइंट A is x1, y1 and point B is x2, y2. ठीक है? So this is the distance formula which we learned in the last session. We started with practice set 5.1. We finished question number 1 and question number 2 का first and second sum हम लोगों ने complete कर लिया था. So in this session we'll start with the next question, which is the third question. But third question I assume you can solve it on your own based on the two questions that we have already solved. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 का फर्स्ट और सेकंड जो हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी सॉल्व किया है, उसके ऊपर बेस्ड यू कैन सॉल्व क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 ऑन योर ओन. सो फॉर टुडेज होमवर्क, क्वेश्चन 2 का थर्ड वन इज गोइंग टू बी योर होमवर्क एंड सम एडिशनल क्वेश्चंस व्हिच यू विल रिसीव इन अ सेपरेट फाइल एज यूजुअल. सो वी विल स्टार्ट विद क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, फोर्थ वन. ओके, व्हाट वी हैव टू डू इन दीज क्वेश्चंस इज 3 पॉइंट्स आर गिवन एवरीवेयर. वी हैव टू फाइंड वेदर द 3 पॉइंट्स आर कोलिनियर और नॉट. सो लेट अस फर्स्ट राइट द क्वेश्चन. There is a point P minus 2 comma 3. There is a point Q 1 comma 2 and there is a point R 4 comma 1. We have to find whether these points are collinear or not. Last time अगर आपको याद हो तो मैंने बोला था there are two ways in which you can tell whether the given set of points are collinear or not. जो second method है वो ज्यादा easier method है यहाँ से, but वो हम लोग later in the chapter we'll study that method. For now we are sticking to the distance formula method. So let's continue. Distance formula से हम लोगों ने इसको कैसे solve किया था? First find out the distance between P and Q, then Q and R, then P and R. If two of the smaller distances add up to the third distance, which is the biggest distance, then we can say the points are collinear. इसका logic simple है. If 3 points are collinear like this, the distance between these 2 points and these 2 points will add up to the distance between these 2 points. Okay, simple. So here what we are going to do is find out the distance between P and Q first. Okay, therefore distance between P and Q will be equal to, as I told you, I am not going to write the formula again and again. We can directly solve these questions. I hope by now you know the formula by heart. Okay, so square root of, for P and Q, x2 is 1, x1 is minus 2, or you can go other way around also, anything you can take. So we'll do 1 minus, there is one more minus sign here, so minus 2. Okay, I'll use square brackets here, the whole square. This is x2 minus x1 plus square root of, y2 minus y1, so 2 minus 3. This is y2, this is y1, the whole square. Okay, when we calculate this, we'll get, here there are two negatives, so they will become positive. This will become 1 plus 2, that is 3. So 3 square plus 2 minus 3 is minus 1 square. Okay, so this will become square root of 9 plus 1. Okay, basically what we are getting here is square root of 10 units. This is the distance between P and Q. Now let us find out the distance between Q and R. So therefore once again using the same formula, distance QR equal to square root of, this time x2 is 4, x1 is 1, so 4 minus 1 the whole square plus 1 minus 2, y2 and y1, 1 minus 2 the whole square. Okay, now let us calculate this. What we'll get here is 4 minus 1 is 3 square plus 1 minus 2, once again we are getting minus 1 square. Okay, so this will add up once again to 9 plus 1, that is square root of 10 units. So far both the distances that we got, are same, square root of 10 units and square root of 10 units. Let us go to the final distance that we are going to find out. We found out PQ distance, QR distance also we found out. Last is P and R. Let us check what that distance we are getting. What is that distance? Distance PR will be equal to square root of, okay, so x2 this time is 4 and x1 is minus 2. So 4 minus minus 2. Once again square bracket, the whole square. Okay, this is x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1. So 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 the whole square. Okay, 1 minus 3 the whole square. So if we calculate this, we'll get square root of 4 minus minus 2 is 4 plus 2, that is 6 square, plus this is minus 2 square. Here we are getting square root of 36 plus 4. So basically this is equal to square root of 40. Now 40 we can easily factorize and we can take some part of it outside the square root. यहाँ पे क्या था, square root of 10 मतलब square root of 2 multiplied by 5. किसी का भी square root find नहीं कर सकते हम लोग. But here it is equal to square root of 4 multiplied by 10. Okay, and we know that square root of 4 is 2. So that part at least we can take outside. So 2 बाहर आ गया, पीछे क्या बचेगा, square root of 10 units. Okay, so the final distance that we are getting is 2 times root 10 units. Now clearly you can see that root 10 plus root 10, if we add these two distances, we will get 2 root 10. That means what? These points are collinear. As simple as that. So let us write that finally. Therefore, from above, we can say that distance, or first we will write the calculation. Square root of 10 plus square root of 10 is nothing but 2 times square root of 10. That means what? First square root of 10 is distance PQ plus second square root of 10 is distance QR. So distance QR will be equal to distance PR. That means the given points are collinear. The final statement will be therefore P, Q, R in this sequence exactly are collinear. Are collinear points. Okay, this is the solution for the last question of question number 2, finding out whether the points are collinear or not. Now while I quickly revise this, please make sure you make a note of this. I'll quickly revise it for you. So we have been given with 3 points P, Q and R. The points are minus 2, 3, 1, 2 and 4, 1. We have to check whether these points are collinear or not. So how we are going to do that is find out the distances PQ, QR and PR. So if 2 distances add up to the third distance, we can say the given points are collinear. So first we found out distance PQ using the distance formula, that is 1 minus minus 2 x2 minus x1 the whole square plus 2 minus 3 again y2 minus y1 the whole square. So this is also y2 minus y1 the whole square. 3 square plus minus 1 square, this is what we are getting. Finally when we solve this, we get the distance PQ as square root of 10 units. Okay, similarly when we find out the distance QR, we use the same formula again, distance formula. So square root of x2 minus x1, which is 4 minus 1. This time we are finding out the distance between Q and R. So 4 minus 1 whole square plus 1 minus 2 the whole square. Once again we are getting 3 square plus minus 1 square upon solving. That means distance QR once again is equal to square root of 10 units. Now the only thing left is to find out the third distance between the points P and R. Once again we use distance formula. So x2 minus x1, that is 4 minus minus 2 plus 1 minus 3. So 1 minus 3 is y2 minus y1 the whole square. Okay, don't forget the whole square, it is the part of the formula. When we solve this, this will become square root of 6 square plus minus 2 square. Okay, upon solving we are getting square root of 40. But 40, as I told you earlier, can be factorized into 4 into 10 and square root of 4 is 2, so it came outside the square root, and the only thing left behind is square root of 10. So 2 root 10 units is the distance PR, and from here we can observe that these two distances are adding up to be 2 root 10 only. So that means points P, Q and R are collinear. Okay, this is the solution of question number 2, fourth one. So now let us go to the next question, that is question number 3. Before that, I'll just change the page. Okay, so question 3. Let me just read the question for you. Find the point on x-axis which is equidistant from A minus 3, 4, that is a point, and B 1, minus 4. Let me just explain this question to you. So there is a point on x-axis which is equidistant from two other points, let us say A and B. Okay, ये वाला distance भी equal है और ये वाला distance भी equal है. This is point A, this is point B. And point A is given in the question. It is minus 3, 4. So this point is minus 3, 4. Point B is 1, minus 4. 1, minus 4. Okay. Now don't assume the position of the points like this. It can be anywhere on the axis. But for our purposes, this is just for representation. ठीक है? इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो x और y coordinate पे जब हम plot करेंगे तो ऐसा ही दिखेगा. No. This is just for reference. ठीक है? So there is a point A, there is a point B. इन दोनों से equidistant ये point कहीं पे भी हो सकता है. Suppose the point can be anywhere. Here also it can be. मतलब ये distance और ये distance equal है. This is what the question is telling us. Now ये जो point है इसके बारे में एक चीज और दिया है question में कि this point lies on x-axis. Okay, and in my previous session I told you that if a point lies on x-axis उसका y coordinate हमेशा 0 होता है. Okay, so that means इस point का एक coordinate तो हमें already पता है, y वाला part, that is 0. The only thing left to find is the x coordinate. ठीक है, हम लोगों को ये point find out करना है जो इससे और इससे दोनों point से equal distance पे होगा. Okay, so if I assume कि इसका x coordinate x है और इसको हम लोग normally distance formula से solve करने गए तो we'll get the solution. Let us try this question. I hope you understood the question. So let the point equidistant from A and B be x, 0. ठीक है, y वाला कोऑर्डिनेट कंपल्सरीली 0 लिया है हम लोगों ने बिकॉज द पॉइंट लाइज ऑन x एक्सिस. ठीक है, इट हैज बीन गिवन टू अस इन द क्वेश्चन. नाउ इफ दिस पॉइंट इज इक्विडिस्टेंट फ्रॉम A and B, दैट मींस distance of point A to this point, let us say it is point P. Okay, point P x, 0. So distance AP will be equal to distance BP. Okay, so let us find out the distances using the distance formula. Therefore, distance AB, I mean AP, will be equal to distance BP. ठीक है, this is the equation that we know for sure is true. Because both the distances are equal, this is given in the question. Now we'll just use the formula for these two distances. Okay, distance AP मतलब क्या? Square root of what is point A? Point A is minus 3, 4. Okay, point A is minus 3, 4. I'll write it here for reference. And point B is 1, minus 4. Point B is 1, minus 4. So we are finding out the distance between A and P. Okay, so x2 minus x1, यहाँ पे x coordinate क्या है? Only x. Minus x1 here is minus 3. So bracket में मैंने minus 3 लिखा because there are two negatives. और square bracket में whole square. Correct? The formula is x2 minus x1 the whole square. So x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Y वाला coordinate यहाँ पे 0 है. So 0 minus 4 the whole square. This is distance AP. Similarly, this is equal to distance BP के लिए भी हम लोग formula use करेंगे square root of. Okay, now distance BP is x minus 1. x2 minus x1 मतलब क्या? x minus 1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 will be 0 minus minus 4. Two negatives again. So square bracket में 0 minus minus 4 the whole square. So these two are the formulas or the distances AP and BP which are equal. ठीक है, अभी इसको solve करने के लिए try करते हैं हम लोग. So therefore square root. Now if I square both the sides, we can remove the square roots. There is no need for that because this is an equation. Whatever we do on one side, if we do it on the other side also, then it is fair, it is correct. So let us do squaring both sides. उससे क्या होगा, ये square root वाला part हट जाएगा. We don't need to calculate that further. So this will become, on squaring both sides, this will become x minus minus will become plus. So x plus 3 the whole square plus this is 0 minus 4 मतलब सिर्फ minus 4 the whole square. Okay, square root got removed completely. Equal to, this will become x minus 1 the whole square plus 0 minus minus 4. Two negatives will become positive. So 4 square. Okay, so this is once again an equation that we are getting in terms of x. Let us try to solve the value of x. वही हम लोगों को find out करना है. x अगर मिल गया तो we get the point which is equidistant from both the other points given in the question. So this will be equal to, now we have studied the formula for a plus b the whole square in our previous standards, correct? A plus b the whole square is a square plus 2ab plus b square. So this is in the same form, a plus b the whole square मतलब क्या, a square मतलब यहाँ पे x square plus 2ab, 2 times x into 3, so 6x plus b square मतलब यहाँ पे होगा 3 square that is 9. ओके, तो x plus 3 the whole square को expand करके ये मिलेगा प्लस minus 4 का स्क्वायर, नंबर नेगेटिव हुआ तो भी स्क्वायर पॉजिटिव ही होता है हमेशा. सो minus 4 square is nothing but 4 square 16 equal to, this is a minus b the whole square formula. So a minus b the whole square का क्या फॉर्मूला है? Once again a square minus 2ab plus b square. So a square मतलब यहाँ पे हो जाएगा x square minus 2 times 1 into x मतलब सिर्फ 2x plus b square मतलब यहाँ पे हो जाएगा 1 का स्क्वायर which is 1 itself. Okay, plus 4 square is 16. Now you can see that plus 16 is there on both the sides. If I change the side of even 1 plus 16, it will get cancelled. तो ये वैसे भी cancel होने वाला. Okay, plus 16 minus 16 0 हो जाएगा. So we can cancel it directly. The remaining part we can solve. The same thing goes for x square. यहाँ पे भी x square है, यहाँ पे भी x square है. अगर मैंने एक का भी साइड चेंज कर दिया तो वो हो जाएगा x square minus x square. तो it will also get cancelled. Okay, so what is left in the equation is only this much. Therefore 6x plus 9 will be equal to minus 2x plus 1. Okay, now this is a very simple linear equation, the solution of which even an 8th standard student can find out. So 6x को यहीं पे रखेंगे, minus 2x का साइड अगर मैंने चेंज कर दिया, it will become 6x plus 2x. Okay, 6x plus 2x हो गया, साइड चेंज किया इसीलिए. एंड प्लस 9 जब उस साइड चला जाएगा इट विल बिकम minus 9. minus 9 plus 1 that is already there. Okay, so 6x plus 2x is 8x equal to minus 9 plus 1 will become minus 8. So the solution for x is minus 8 divided by 8, that is minus 1. Okay, this is the answer for x. So finally the point is nothing but minus 1 comma 0. X का value is minus 1. Therefore the point equidistant from A and B is minus 1 comma 0. This is our final statement. Now I'll give you a minute. Kindly note the answer down, the solution down. So I'll wait for you for a minute. Okay, so let us go to the next question now. Question number 4. I hope you are done writing. Question number 4. Verify the points P, Q and R are vertices of a right angled triangle. Okay, so there are 3 points given to us. Point P, that is -2, 2. Point Q, that is 2, 2. And point R, that is 2, 7. Okay, we have to verify that these 3 points they make a right angled triangle. मतलब अगर मैं P, Q और R को ग्राफ पेपर में प्लॉट करूंगा, it should make a right angled triangle. Again, this is just a rough representation of what you need to draw on the graph, but we are not actually using graph paper, so हम लोग representation के लिए इसको use कर सकते हैं. तो अगर ये 3 पॉइंट्स ग्राफ पेपर पे हम लोग प्लॉट करेंगे, इट शुड मेक अ राइट एंगल्ड ट्रायंगल. ऐसा ये क्वेश्चन हम लोगों को बोल रहा है वेरीफाई करने के लिए. तो ये कैसे चेक कर सकते हैं हम लोग? ठीक है, सपोज दिस इज पॉइंट P, दिस इज पॉइंट Q, दिस इज पॉइंट R. हाउ डू यू थिंक वी कैन चेक वेदर दिस इज अ राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल और नॉट? द आंसर इज वेरी सिंपल. वी हैव ऑल लर्नड पाइथागोरस थ्योरम, ओके, इन आवर अर्लियर स्टैंडर्ड्स. सो ऑल वी नीड टू डू इज वेरीफाई कि ये जो डिस्टेंसेस है, डिस्टेंस PQ, डिस्टेंस QR एंड डिस्टेंस PR, दे फिट इनसाइड द पाइथागोरस थ्योरम फॉर्मूला. ओके, अगर मैं इस पे पाइथागोरस थ्योरम अप्लाई करता हूं इस राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल पे, तो क्या होना चाहिए इसका मीनिंग? हाइपोटेन्यूज PR स्क्वायर शुड बी इक्वल टू PQ स्क्वायर प्लस QR स्क्वायर. मतलब क्या हुआ? किसी एक डिस्टेंस का स्क्वायर शुड बी इक्वल टू द स्क्वायर ऑफ अदर 2 डिस्टेंसेस, सम ऑफ स्क्वायर्स ऑफ अदर 2 डिस्टेंसेस. ओके, मतलब ये जरूरी नहीं है कि PR ही हाइपोटेन्यूज है, वो अभी तक हम लोगों ने वेरीफाई नहीं किया. हम लोग क्या करेंगे? सिर्फ फाइंड आउट द डिस्टेंसेस फर्स्ट. ओके, फर्स्ट फाइंड आउट डिस्टेंस PQ, देन फाइंड आउट डिस्टेंस QR, देन फाइंड आउट डिस्टेंस PR. उसके बाद जो भी सबसे लॉन्गेस्ट डिस्टेंस होगा, ओके, उसका स्क्वायर शुड बी इक्वल टू द सम ऑफ स्क्वायर्स ऑफ द अदर 2 डिस्टेंसेस. लेट अस वेरीफाई दैट. ओके, so I'll erase this. This was just for explanation purpose. Distance PQ पहले find out करते हैं हमेशा की तरह से. So P and Q distance will be equal to square root of x2 minus x1. So 2 minus -2, 2 minus -2 the whole square plus y2 minus y1, 2 minus 2, okay, 2 minus 2 whole square. So this will be equal to square root of, now 2 negatives will become positive, so 2 plus 2 is 4 square plus this is nothing but 0. Okay, 0 square is 0. So this will be equal to square root of 16, that is 4 itself. Okay, this is one of the distances that we are getting, 4 units. Now let us find out QR. Distance QR will be equal to square root of, okay, x2 minus x1. So 2 minus 2 the whole square plus y2 minus y1, 7 minus 2 the whole square. So this will be equal to 2 minus 2 is 0, 0 square plus 5 square. So we are getting here 25 का square root, which is nothing once again but 5. Okay, 5 units is distance QR. अभी जो third distance find out करना बाकी है, let us find out that. PQ find out किया, it is 4 units. QR find out किया, it is 5 units. Last is PR. Okay, so distance PR will be equal to square root of x2 minus x1. So 2 minus -2, once again square bracket में 2 minus -2 the whole square plus 7 minus 2 the whole square. So 7 minus 2 the whole square. This will be equal to square root of 2 minus -2. It will become 2 plus 2, that is 4. So 4 square is 16 plus 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 square is 25. Okay, this will be equal to square root of 16 plus 25. When we add this, we will get 25 plus 10 is 35 plus 6 is 41. Root 41 units. So this is distance PR. Now these are the three distances that we are getting. Let us check whether distances of these two, when we square them and add them, whether we are getting the third distance or not. Okay, the longest side here, longest side will be equal to distance PR, that is square root of 41. Obviously this is the biggest distance. How do we know that? See, this is 4 units, this is 5 units. Root 41 मतलब क्या? 6 के भी square से बड़ा है वो. That means obviously it is 6 point something, correct? Which is bigger than both these values. So वही सबसे बड़ा distance. So इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? इस distance का अगर मैं square करता हूँ, okay, therefore distance PR square is square root of 41 का square, which is nothing but 41 units. Okay, तो इसका square should be equal to sum of squares of these two distances. Let us check that. And distance PQ square plus distance QR square, this will be equal to how much? Distance PQ square is what? 4 square, and distance QR square is how much? 5 square. Okay, if we add this once again, see, 16 plus 25 will get nothing but 41 units only. So clearly these two distances are equal. That means it fits into the Pythagoras theorem pattern. Okay, that's why points P, Q and R, they make a right angle triangle. Now we'll just write that finally. Therefore, distance PQ square plus distance QR square is equal to distance PR square. Okay, PR square. Okay, so if this statement is true, according to converse of Pythagoras theorem, we can say that triangle PQR will make a right angled triangle. Okay, so we just need to write that down finally in a statement. I'll write it in this corner since we are out of space. By converse of Pythagoras theorem, triangle PQR is a right angled triangle. Okay, so this statement should be written towards the end of the question, but I have written it in this corner. So make sure you write it properly. Now this is the solution for question number 4. I hope you got this question. Quickly make a note of this question while I wait for you for a minute. Okay. So now let us go to the next question, question number 5. Okay, I'll go to the next page. Question number 5, show that the points P, Q, R and S are vertices of a parallelogram. Okay, now once again this is one of the questions which can be solved in multiple ways, and there is an easier way, okay, by which we can solve it. But since we have only learned distance formula so far, we cannot use the slope formula to solve this. We'll study that later in the chapter. But for now, let us try to solve it using the distance formula. But I'll also show you how to solve this using slope formula when we learn it. And if you ask my preference, that is a better method to solve these questions because it is always easier than distance formula. So let us try to solve question number 5. There are 4 points given to us. Point P, 2, -2, point Q, 7, 3, point R 11 comma minus 1 and point S 6 comma minus 6. Okay, now we have to prove that these 4 points are vertices of a parallelogram. For that you need to know the properties of a parallelogram. You already have studied it in your previous standards. Once again, what is a parallelogram? Okay, a figure where opposite sides are parallel to each other, but they are also equal to each other. That means what? These 2 points are equal also and parallel also. Okay, same with these 2 sides, parallel bhi hai aur equal bhi hai. So all we have to do in this question is we have to prove that ये जो points है इसका अगर हम लोग distances find करेंगे तो opposite sides जो बनता है they will be equal to each other. सिर्फ अगर मैंने इतना भी prove कर दिया then we can say it is a parallelogram. Okay, that much is enough for me to prove that P, Q, R and S, these points they make a parallelogram. So suppose यही diagram reference के लिए लिया अगर हम लोगों ने तो ऐसा कुछ दिखेगा, parallel sides equal आना चाहिए. Okay, so PQ should be equal to RS, okay, and PS should be equal to QR, and the points can be in any sequence. हम लोग देखेंगे कौन सा 2 sides equal आ रहा है. Okay, let us see whether it makes a parallelogram or not. So first we'll find out distance PQ. Distance PQ is nothing but x2 minus x1 square root of x2 minus x1, so 7 minus 2 the whole square plus y2 minus y1, so 3 minus minus 2. Okay, this is 3 minus minus 2 the whole square. Okay, if we solve this we'll get square root of 5 square plus this is 3 plus 2, that is 5 square once again, so this is equal to square root of 25 plus 25, that is square root of 50. So one side we are getting square root of 50 units. Okay, you can further simplify this, but I don't think there is a need to do that. So let us go to the other side, distance QR. PQ find out किया, next distance QR find out करेंगे. Distance QR will be equal to square root of 11 minus 7, x2 minus x1. So 11 minus 7 the whole square plus minus 1 minus 3 the whole square, y2 minus y1, minus 1 minus 3 the whole square. Okay, upon solving what we'll get here is square root of this is 4 square plus once again minus 1 minus 3 will become minus 4, so minus 4 square. Okay, but doesn't matter, negative number का अगर square करेंगे तो आंसर पॉजिटिव ही आएगा. This is 16 plus 16, square root of 16 plus 16, that is square root of 32 units. ठीक है, तो side PQ is root 50 units, side QR is root 32 units. तो जो बचा हुआ 2 sides है वो एक 50 root 50 सेम आना चाहिए और एक root 32 सेम आना चाहिए. That means पैरेलल साइड्स फिर इक्वल हो जाएगा. करेक्ट, तो अगर वैसे आता है तो देन वी कैन से इट इज अ पैरेललोग्राम. सो लेट अस गो टू द नेक्स्ट डिस्टेंस, डिस्टेंस RS. डिस्टेंस RS will be equal to square root of this time x2 minus x1 is 6 minus 11, 6 minus 11 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 will be minus 6 minus minus 1, 2 negatives. Okay, so minus 6 minus minus 1 the whole square. This is the third distance that we are finding out. So this will be equal to square root of 6 minus 11 is minus 5, so minus 5 square plus this is minus 6 plus 1. Correct, minus 6, both negatives will become plus. So minus 6 plus 1 is minus 5. Once again this is minus 5 square. So minus 5 square is positive 25. This is also positive 25. As you can see we are getting this equal to root 50 units once again. Okay, so these 2 sides are equal. Okay, that we have verified. Let us find out whether the next side is equal to root 32 or not. If it is equal we can say it is a parallelogram. So therefore distance, final distance is PS. Okay, we found out PQ, QR and RS. Final distance is PS. So distance PS will be equal to square root of x2 minus x1. So 6 minus 2 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 will be minus 6 minus minus 2 the whole square. So minus 6 minus minus 2 the whole square. Okay, square bracket use kar lenge. This is equal to square root of, this is 4 square plus minus 6, both negatives once again will become positive. So minus 6 plus 2 will get minus 4 the whole square. Okay, so as you can see, 4 square is 16, minus 4 square is once again positive 16. So we are getting the same thing, square root of 16 plus 16, that is square root of 32 units. Okay, so this proves that the given diagram, given points are the vertices of a parallelogram. If you plot the points on a graph paper, when you join them, you will get a parallelogram. You can try even that if you want to do something extra. ठीक है, verify वैसे भी कर सकते हो. Just take a graph paper, plot x-axis, plot y-axis, and when you plot these points on the graph paper, you will observe that automatically you are getting a parallelogram. ठीक है, upon joining the points. So you can clearly observe here that the opposite sides are equal. So finally we have to write that down in a statement also. The statement is, since the opposite sides are equal, okay, the opposite distances are equal, we can say that points P, Q, R and S, they are vertices of a parallelogram. So after you finish writing this, please make sure you write the statement also. I'll wait for you to finish writing this for a minute, then we can proceed on to the next question. Okay, so I hope you understood this question. You have also written down the statement. Let us now go to the next question, that is question number 6. Now in question number 6, it is a similar question for you. Show that points A, B, C and D are vertices of a rhombus. Okay, this time we have to prove that they are vertices of a rhombus. But it is a very similar question. जैसे यहाँ पे parallelogram में हम लोगों ने क्या देखा, opposite sides equal आना चाहिए. यहाँ पे every side should be equal. So when you find out distance AB, when you find out distance BC, when you find out distance CD and finally distance AD, all four distances, they should be equal, and if they are equal only then you can say that it is a rhombus. ठीक है, तो ये चीज हम लोगों को verify करना है. So I hope you can solve this question on your own. Once again, I am giving one more question to you as your homework, apart from all the questions that you'll find in a separate file. Okay, now let us go to question number 7. Question 7 is find x if the distance between points L and M is 10. Okay, there are 2 points given to you. Question number 7, point L, that is x comma 7, and point M, that is 1 comma 15. And it has been given to us that distance between these 2 points L and M is nothing but 10. We have to find the value of x. Now this is a simple question. All you have to do is substitute the values and you will get a linear equation. You have to find the value of x. Let us do that. Therefore, we know that distance LM will also be equal to square root of, use the distance formula, x2 minus x1. So 1 minus x the whole square plus y2 minus y1. So 15 minus 7 the whole square. But this side of the equation is already known to us. It is given in the question. So let us substitute the value. Therefore, 10 will be equal to square root of, let us open the brackets now. We can open this using a minus b the whole square formula. Okay, so a square, that is 1, minus 2ab, that is minus 2 times 1 into x, that is 2x, plus b square, that is x square, plus 15 minus 7 is 8, correct? And 8 square is 64. So this is what we are getting here, 64 plus 1. Now if we want to remove this square root alongside the solving part, let us do that also. What we need to do is square both the sides. अगर मैं दोनों साइड स्क्वायर करता हूं तो we can do that in an equation as you know. तो इस साइड क्या हो जाएगा? Squaring both sides. First I'll write this, squaring both sides. तो यहां पे हो जाएगा 10 square, that is 100, equal to, and if I square this entire thing, ये square root का साइन यहां से हट जाएगा, करेक्ट? क्योंकि मैं square root भी लिख रहा हूं और square भी कर रहा हूं, they will cancel each other out. What will be left is 1 minus 2x. Now 1 plus 64, I'll write 65 minus 2x plus x square. Okay, so what I can see here is we are getting a quadratic equation. You already studied chapter called quadratic equation in your algebra part. Okay, so ये उसी का question है. Let us solve this question. So 65 or 100, they are numbers, we can operate on them. Let us take everything from this side or everything from this side on the other side. So what the other side will become? x square positive है, उसको as it is रखा मैंने. Minus 2x को भी हम लोग और कुछ नहीं कर सकते. So I'll write it as it is. But this is plus 65 as it is. 100 जब उस साइड चला जाएगा, it will become minus 100 equal to, इस साइड अब कुछ नहीं बचा, so 0. Okay, so 65 minus 100 is minus 35. So therefore x square minus 2x minus 35 equal to 0. Now if you remember how to solve a quadratic equation, what we need to do is we have to factorize the trinomial part. इसका factorization हम लोगों ने 9th standard में भी study किया है, also in your 8th standard, and well I taught you the chapter on quadratic equation at that time also. I explained to you the entire process. I'll just use that same method here. हम लोग किसका factorization पहले करते हैं? So coefficient of x square यहाँ पे 1 है, तो it doesn't matter. 1 into minus 35. Okay, so minus 35 के मुझे दो ऐसे फैक्टर्स चाहिए जिनको अगर मैं मल्टीप्लाई करूंगा तो minus 35 आना चाहिए, बट जब मैं ऐड करूंगा तो minus 2 आना चाहिए. Okay, now if you think a little bit, there is only one possibility. We know that 7 into 5 is 35 और इन दोनों के बीच में का डिफरेंस भी कितना है? It is 2. बट रिमेंबर मल्टीप्लीकेशन minus 35 आना चाहिए. So इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? या तो 7 या तो 5, इन दोनों में से एक नंबर नेगेटिव होना जरूरी है. बट कौन सा नंबर नेगेटिव होगा ये कैसे डिसाइड होगा? फ्रॉम हियर ऐड करके क्या आना चाहिए? -2 आना चाहिए. -2 कब आएगा? जब बड़ा नंबर नेगेटिव होगा. ओके, सो -7 and +5 are the correct pair of factors. Now let us use the factors to split the middle term. This will become x square minus 2x की जगह पे अब हम लोग क्या लिखेंगे? -7 और 5 को यूज करके -7x plus 5x. ठीक है, मिडल टर्म जो था -2x, it became -7x plus 5x. -35 is as it is and equal to 0. ठीक है, so this is what we are getting. Now use the factors here. यहां पे कॉमन पार्ट क्या है दोनों में? x is common, so x minus 7 plus here 5 is common. Once again we'll get x minus 7 equal to 0. Okay, in both these terms you can see x minus 7 is common. Let us take it out. x minus 7 दोनों में से कॉमन लिया, पीछे क्या बचेगा? x plus 5 equal to 0. Okay, so from here we'll get two values of x, either x minus 7 equal to 0 or x plus 5 equal to 0. Because when two numbers are multiplied and the product is 0, one of the numbers has to be 0. ठीक है, so या तो x का वैल्यू होगा 7 or it can be -5. Okay, just change the side. x is equal to 7 or -5. This is our final answer. ठीक है, the value of x in L and M can be 7,7. L का वैल्यू 7,7 हो सकता है या फिर -5,7 हो सकता है. दोनों के लिए the distance is same. that is 10 units. Okay, so this is the solution for question number 7. Now there is only one more question left in this exercise, but due to the time duration, we'll just skip that question, or we can continue with the question in the next session. Okay, so I'll give you some time to write this before I end the session. Please make sure you make a note of this. Okay, so thank you everyone for attending the session. We'll meet again in the next session. Till that time, make sure you complete your homework. Okay, bye.